So in this video, we're going to be putting together a pedal board specifically for doom and stoner metal music. We're going to be talking about what type of effects pedals we might want to put on our board. We're going to talk about what order we're going to put them in. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how we're going to set up our overall sound. So if that sounds interesting to you, I think you're really going to want to stick around and watch this video. I'm Jason Johnson with Fuzzlord Effects, and on my channel I do gear demos, tech talks, and time-lapse footage of what goes on here at the Fuzzlord shop. If you'd like to keep up with me more, be sure you check out the fuzzlordeffects.com website and follow me on Instagram at @FuzzlordEffects to keep up with what I'm doing daily. If you like these kind of videos, be sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the weekly content. So let's get to it. So we're lucky enough to have Eric Merrow, a fellow YouTuber, in the shop today. What kind of videos do you do on your channel, Eric?
On my channel, I do gear demos and instructional videos aimed to help musicians.
I've been liking checking out his channel, and I think you guys would also. Today we're going to be putting together a pedal board aimed at playing doom music, which, is that usually the kind of music you play, Eric?
Yeah, so I'm really excited because doom isn't the type of music that I always play. I like it, but I'm excited to learn what pedals we use and what order we get them in.
That's awesome, man. Eric's going to be doing a demo today, and he's going to be playing 10,000 Years by High on Fire. Great song, good riffs, and I believe you checked this video out on our buddy Steve from @DoesItDoom on his channel.
Yep, Steve taught it to me.
So if you haven't met Steve, go over to his channel also and check out some lessons. So without talking too much more about it, we're going to talk about what effects we're going to put on this board.
Yeah, so first off, what's the first effect you would grab for a doom pedal board?
So I think putting together a board, I think the first thing we're going to put up front is either going to be a boost or like a fuzz face kind of thing. Those pedals usually like to be up front.
Is there any specific reason why they like to be up front?
Usually those kind of pedals don't enjoy having a buffer before them. So any boss pedal or things like that. When in doubt, if you have a boost or a fuzz pedal, let's just go ahead and put that up front. So today we're going to use a Fuzzlord Riffmaster pedal, which is basically just a Rangemaster clone. So it's just a clean boost, and we're going to use it to take our amp and just push it a little harder. Or maybe we're going to use a distortion pedal or a fuzz, and we want something to boost that harder. So all we're doing for the first one is just a little boost pedal.
Making it louder.
Making it louder. Really simple.
Yeah.
So then after that, why don't we go ahead and put a fuzz pedal? I kind of think we're going to have a few different types of basic effect on this board. We're going to have a boost. We're going to have a fuzz. And then maybe we're going to choose between an overdrive or a distortion. I think they kind of fill a similar need. And the thought process behind it is maybe a fuzz is kind of a more loose, blown out kind of sound. And then the distortion is going to be a really nice, tight, high gain sound with a lot more clarity. And I kind of think of fuzz as an older sound, like Iron Butterfly, or maybe something more modern like High on Fire or Monolord, those kind of things. And then the distortion is going to be more of a heavy metal type of thing. I think there's a place for both kind of sounds. So the second pedal is a Fuzzlord Voidmaster, which is essentially kind of a modified fuzz face or color sound fuzz, which is an old 70s fuzz circuit. It has one knob, it's just very simple, has a nice sound, and it's going to fill that need of kind of the old school fuzz tone that's so prominent in doom music. So we're going to put that right after our boost pedal, and we have our power supply mounted under the board and our leads hanging up here. What kind of power supplies do you like to use, Eric?
I always use isolated power just to get the cleanest power to each pedal. I definitely don't like daisy chaining all that much. So isolated is definitely good. I've got a Pedal Power 2
Awesome.
From Voodoo Labs.
I'm using a MXR ISO brick today, which is another isolated power supply. And the big deal is we're basically just isolating the power supplies of these different pedals from each other. So these high gain dirt pedals don't introduce noise into the other pedals of the chain.
Yeah. So speaking of high gain, the next pedal, are you going to step away from the fuzz, or are you going to introduce more saturation
So I'm thinking, I want to keep this pedal board really simple. That way we don't overdo it, and this is something you could take to a gig or like band practice and stuff. So I want to go with a distortion after the boost, the fuzz, and then the distortion. Maybe if distortion's not your thing, a good overdrive would be good. Even a tube screamer. I think there's a place for all these different kind of pedals. So today we're just kind of going to make a choice between the overdrive and the distortion. And I'm kind of thinking a higher gain sound. So let's go with the distortion today. This is a Fuzzlord Drone Master, which is a take on the Rat pedal.
Okay.
Which is a very classic pedal. It's affordable. Your buddy probably has one that you can borrow.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just going to follow up the fuzz with a tighter sounding distortion pedal.
Yeah. And that's in position 3, right?
Position 3.
Okay.
So let's put this one down.
So we've got a boost into a fuzz and then into a distortion, but that's a lot of gain, a lot of possibility for feedback.
So when I used to play a lot of music with my friend Troy, and we first started turning up loud a lot for the first time, we just started turning up all the knobs and all the gain in our amp, and every time we ended a song, it was just squealing and feedback, and it sounded like every rock concert I go to.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
So, of course, everyone needs a tuner on their pedal board. But here's the big secret of the video, everyone, that I think is so important that gets overlooked by so many people. Let's throw that tuner after our dirt pedals. That way, at the beginning of a song, we have a mute button, so we can have all of our high gain pedals all set up, ready to go. They're all feeding back pretty much. So the drummer counts off 1, 2, 3, 4. We hit that tuner and turn on our sound. At the end of the song, we're going to do the opposite. When we want the song to end and it to be quiet, we have a mute button now on our tuner to cut the signal. That way we're not piercing everyone's eardrums at the end of every song.
Yeah, that's pretty genius. I'd never heard of that. I'd always put my tuner up front, like just guitar tuner. That's
Same here.
That's always how I set it up. So that's actually a really, really cool
It was
tidbit.
such a weird thing to come across, and this was something that would seem so intuitive, but it really isn't. So I think everyone should keep in mind that after all these dirt pedals that are going to cause a lot of gain and possibly noise and feedback, we want a way to turn that on and turn it off.
Yeah, you gotta want the feedback.
Yeah, so when we want it, it's there,
Yeah.
and when we don't want it, it's not there.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and put our tuner right after our dirt pedals.
We've got a lot of distortion, a lot of drive, a lot of saturation. What other type of effect would you put in?
So if we had a bigger pedal board, we could really, we could have a big muff. We could have all these different famous pedals and stuff. But we're keeping this simple today. So let's say that the boost and the dirt and the fuzz, we're taken care of for now. So now I'm kind of thinking, most people want a time-based effect. I like reverb and delay. I also think a lot of people like chorus pedals and things like that, but my main focus is going to be, I think a reverb or a delay is going to be nice, maybe both. And let's say that there's a spot on this pedal board for one wild card pedal.
Yeah, you always have to have the wild card.
Yes, always. So the joker in our hand today is going to be, I'm thinking it might be a chorus, a phaser, or those kind of things. But my favorite pedal for this type of sound is going to be an octave pedal, a clean octave pedal.
Yeah. So back when I was in like a hardcore band, I always used to have, a PS5, a Boss PS5, I think. It's a harmonious pedal. So I had it set to the dive bomb.
Okay.
So I push it down and all my pitch would just shift to like 2 octaves down.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that would sound really cool in a bunch of different kinds of music.
Yeah.
Today, what I have available is the Electro Harmonix Micropog.
I've never used one, so I'm excited to try it.
I think you're really going to dig it. I think it's one of those things where when we want to take a break from all the heavy, high gain stuff, well, these octave pedals work really good with the high gain stuff. But I'm also keeping in the back of my mind that all of our favorite heavy metal songs, even Swedish death metal stuff, has clean parts.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the dynamics of some clean, pretty guitar really makes the rest of the song sound heavy.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about dynamics.
Let's throw that Micropog on there. That way we can really almost turn any of our fuzz or dirt pedals into something like an Octavia where it has an octave. Or maybe we're playing clean parts and we want to fake a 12-string kind of sound.
Yeah, and sort of on that note, I've heard a lot of people talk about putting octaves in like in the front of the chain. So like, is there a specific reason why you would put it after distortion or before distortion?
I've just found that when I'm playing, that's what works well for me. But I think we really want to encourage everyone that just move your pedals around.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of people find these new sounds by putting things where they shouldn't go. I believe I was reading the manual from Electro-Harmonics and they said to put it before all your dirt pedals. I did both and I just found I liked it twice as much after. So don't just take what we say and follow it. I think everyone should move these pedals around.
Yeah, it's sort of like this is the starting point. And from here you can understand it and then start, modifying it to your tastes.
So let's keep this pedal board really simple.
Okay, what's next?
Well, we want a reverb and a delay. But that's just me because I really like those kind of sounds.
It's like peanut butter and jelly.
It's like peanut butter and jelly that goes so well together.
Yeah.
And really, to me, a clean tone, and a lot of people's clean tone, is kind of usually has a lot of reverb and delay on it. So when we want to have peanut butter and jelly,
At the same time.
you grab a Boss RE20 Space Echo. It's a very famous pedal. I got into it because Wada from Boris uses it. One of my favorite guitar players, David Majuri from the Slowmatics, an Irish band, really big in the doom scene, plays one. John from Conan, another doom band, plays them. And they're just a classic pedal that emulates the old school tape units.
Yeah, the big ones, right?
Which are kind of prone to failure and they're always needing tune-up.
Always expensive too.
Very expensive. These pedals are still pretty available, and I think you can get them on Reverb for about $225 or so.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And I will say it's one of my favorite pedals, and it has a very unique sound.
So that's going at the end of the chain.
Then we're done.
Okay.
So we're going to put our Space Echo at the end of the chain. So why don't we just take a moment and we'll get our patch cables hooked up. And then again, Eric is going to play 10,000 Years by High on Fire. So now that we got our pedal board all set up and we figured out our order, let's hear what it sounds like. So we talked about what kind of effects pedals we wanted to put on this board. We also talked about the order, which I think is important. And the last thing I really want to stress today is that we need to set up our overall sound. I think the easiest way to do that sometimes is to start off with our cleanest sound. So let's imagine we're playing a song and there's like a breakdown in the middle. We have all this lush reverb and pretty delay sounds. I think we should set up our sound in our amp with that as our bass line. It's very easy to add more dirt onto our signal. But if we have all the gains on our amp cranked and all of our pedals cranked all the time, it's a lot harder to get back to clean. So what I try to do is find my pretty reverb and delay and octave sounds, dial my amp in a way that makes that work. So if we want a crystal clear, clean part in the song, let's set up our JCM 800s, our Mad Amp GT 120s, our oranges to have a nice clean sound. And then we're gonna hit that front end with big muffs and rats and all this dirt. Just remember everybody, it's a lot easier to add more distortion onto our signal than it is to tame an amp that is already set to really high gain. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope it was helpful and entertaining. Why don't you leave me a comment below and let me know what kind of pedals you're using on your pedal board, and also what order you put them in. I don't want you to think that this is the only way to do this. So I want to know what you're doing, and I really want to encourage you to try out new things and to change up the order of your pedals. I really want to thank Eric Merrow for stopping by the shop today and doing all the filming, all the production work, and putting this video together so we can all enjoy it. So please do me a favor and head on over to Eric Merrow's YouTube channel and follow him on Instagram at @EricMerrow, because I think you're really going to like his videos also, and I think in the next week or two he's going to be doing a giveaway that I think you're all going to be really interested in. So go on over to his page and follow him, that way you don't miss any details about this new giveaway. Again, thank you all for watching, and please leave that comment below. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the new videos coming out. And again, thank you. I hope you're having a good week.